The 2025 Western Canadian Baseball League season got underway back on May 28th with the Weyburn Beavers defeating the Saskatoon Berries 9-0 down in Weyburn. Well, since then, it's been basically the opposite for these two teams. The Berries have won 11 of their last 12 games and are 11-2 to lead not just the East Division but the entire WCBL standings. And the Beavers have just had 3 more wins in their last 11 games. They're 4-8 to start the year. Good evening, Les Lazaruk with you. It is the first of a 2-games weekend series here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field between the Saskatoon Berries and the Weyburn Beavers. The Berries are in the field. Weyburn will be coming up to bat here shortly in the top of the first inning. The Berries with an 11-2 record, as mentioned, they lead the East Division. They've won 4 games in a row. They're a perfect 6-0 here at home at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, while the Weyburn Beavers are 4-8 for the season. They're 5th in the East Division, 6.5 games back of the Berries, and they have lost their last game last night, and they are 1-3 on the road. They've played most of their games so far at home at Tom Lang Field in Weyburn. So taking a look at the Berries defensively, from right field through to left, you've got Ethan Murdoch in right, Carter Beck in center field, Jalen Freeman in left. Around the infield from left to right, Mason Rell at third base, Nathan Houston's the shortstop, second baseman Nomar Prieto, and the first baseman Corey Waters. Ethan Menard is the catcher tonight, and Matt Whitney is the starting pitcher, and he'll face Ryan Daphne, Noah Brooks, and Trevor Dale. Daphne, a veteran of the Western Canadian Baseball League, is in his 4th season in the league. And Matt Whitney out of Plantation, Florida, will get us underway. First pitch swung on and chopped towards the right side of the infield. Menard fields it, underhand shovel to Whitney, who has the ball and touches first base in time for the opening out. So we are underway at 6:02 on Saturday evening, and first pitch swinging, Daphne grounds out. It'll bring up Noah Brooks, the left fielder, next. Matt Whitney has a record of 2 wins and no losses, an earned run average of 3.85. He has 7 strikeouts and has walked just 1 batter in 11 2/3 innings over 2 starts in the Western Canadian Baseball League. First pitch into Noah Brooks is down low for ball 1. Nicely underway here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Whitney delivers in there for a strike, as called by home plate umpire Mark Clark. Phil McGee is the crew chief of this 3-man unit. He's down the line at first base. Bobby Mark down the line at third base. The 3-umpire system in use in the WCBL. Called strike. Brooks tried to hold up, and home plate umpire Clark says, no, you went. 1-2. Whitney nicely ahead. Tall left-hander delivers. Swung on and hit into right center field. Carter Beck going back. Ethan Murdoch going back. That's going to split them in one hop the fence in right center field. The ball returned into the infield, but Noah Brooks came into the game hitting .348, is on with a double. And so Weyburn gets themselves a base runner on their second man up here in the inning. For Brooks, that's his 5th double of the season, and he now leads the Weyburn Beavers in that department. It'll bring up the third baseman, Trevor Dale. Like Brooks, a newcomer to the Weyburn Beavers this year. Brooks from Langley, BC, coming off his junior year at the University of Pikeville. He's the third baseman for Weyburn. Swings and misses at an off-speed pitch for strike 1. Whitney attended West Texas A&M, finished off his senior year. 6'5", 205-pound lefty, delivers, swung on and missed. And strike 2 quickly on the right-hand hitting Dale, who's hitting .366 coming into the game. He leads the Beavers in home runs with 4. He has half of the Beavers' home run total as a team so far this year. Prieto trying to keep The runner at second close. Swung on and hit towards third. Knocked down by Mason Rell. The throw across diamond in time. And Brooks holds his ground at second base. There's 2 away in the top of the first inning. So the cleanup man is DH Ian Heck, who's into his second season. Does some pitching, plays some first base. He's the DH tonight for the Weyburn Beavers, under the direction of head coach Cam Williams. Whitney checks the runner at second. First pitch in there for a strike. Heck hitting .289. Has a couple of home runs and 8 runs batted in. Prieto dancing around out at second with the base runner. Pitch down and in. They'll appeal at first base and will not get the call, as able to check his swing was Ian Heck. Heck from Antelope, California, coming off his senior year at York University. 1-1 the count. Whitney fires down and in. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nice night despite all of the activity going on. There's still a severe thunderstorm watch for the Saskatoon area, but most of the activity is to the north of the city. 25 degrees under mostly cloudy skies and northwest wind at 30 kilometers an hour. That'll blow out towards right field. Down low, blocked by Menard, and it's 3-1. Menard almost got turned around, looking around for the ball. Whitney didn't like what he had there for a baseball. He wants a different one. Umpire Clark will throw it out of play. On deck is Braden Mayencourt, the catcher for the Weyburn Beavers. 3-1 pitch upcoming to Ian Heck. On the ground and towards third, and it gets by Mason Rell down the left field line into the corner. Making his way around to home is Noah Brooks, and Ian Heck with a 2-out double gives the Weyburn Beavers a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. So replace a runner at second base with another hitter. Back-to-back, not back-to-back doubles, but 2 doubles, accounting for a run for Weyburn here in the top of the first inning. Beavers as a team offensively hitting .274, which is 6th best in the league. They have a .749 OPS, on base percentage plus slugging, which is 9th in the league. So offensively, not all that effective, as a first pitch strike to the left-hand hitting Braden Mayencourt. But they put together a first inning run against Matt Whitney here. Mayencourt hitting .286. Hit in the air to right field. Ethan Murdoch settles underneath this and makes the catch, and that's the end of the top of the first inning. A run on 2 hits. No Barry's errors, 1 runner left on base. Weyburn 1, Barry's coming to bat in the bottom of the first inning next, as you're watching Barry's baseball on FloCollege. Defensively for the Weyburn Beavers in the bottom of the first inning. In the outfield, it's Brigham Cocoteo. In right field, the center fielder is Chet McDaniel, and the left fielder, Noah Brooks. Around the infield from left to right, Trevor Dale is the third baseman, Zach Tanabe the shortstop, second baseman Luke Malzewski, and the first baseman Ryan Dauphiny. Braden Mayencourt is the catcher, and the starting pitcher is Dylan Parton. Dylan Parton is the starter tonight for the Weyburn Beavers. He's making his third appearance and third start of the year. A 1-0 record, a 4.09 earned run average. He has struck out 6 and walked 1 in 11 innings so far this year. Parton from Cypress, Texas, coming off his sophomore year at Central Baptist College. Had a no decision his last time out, pitching 6 innings in Medicine Hat back on June 7th. He'll face Ethan Menard, Carter Beck, and Ethan Murdoch, the first 3 hitters for the Saskatoon Berries. In the bottom of the first inning, Menard playing in his 5th game since returning from his college time. First pitch up high, ball 1. Of course, he was playing for the University of Texas at Tyler, a team that won their conference this year. Went on to the College World Series. Didn't last very long there. Here's Menard slapping it into right field. This one will split the outfielders and hit the fence off of one bounce. Menard digging for second. He'll get there easily standing up. And there's a leadoff double for the Saskatoon Berries, trying to answer the Weyburn run here in the bottom of the first. Carter Beck is up next. He is from Carnduff, which is a lot closer to Weyburn than it is to Saskatoon. But I think he's pretty happy that he ended up here with the Berries. He had a huge season last year, and since coming back from his first year at Indiana State University this past winter, he has had a very good start to the year. First pitch to him is in for a strike from Dylan Parton. Beck hitting .483, 14 for 29. Has hits in all 7 games he has played in. He did not play in the second game last night in Brooks, as he looks at a pitch outside, ball 1. Last night, the Berries swept a doubleheader from Brooks on the road, 5-3 the first game, 17-2 in the second game. Beck wasn't in the lineup for the 17-2 game. This one's on the ground to the right side. Nice stab by Ryan Dauphiny, the first baseman, but they're going to call him out. That looked like the runner had it beaten, but the first base umpire over between first and second makes the out call. Menard moves over to third, and the umpires in the crowd are not very pleased with that call by first place umpire and crew chief Phil McGee. Menard over to third base, 1 away. It'll bring up Ethan Murdoch. Murdoch, the right fielder, hitting .333. Pops this one up. Shallow right field. Coming on is the right fielder to make the catch. Now the throw home is Menard trying to score, and he will. He dives across as Brigham Cocatelo's throw from medium depth right field just a little late. And so we're tied up at 1-1 on the sacrifice fly for Ethan Murdoch. Barry's getting a run on a hit. And a ground out and a sacrifice fly for Murdoch. That's his 16th run batted in, which also leads the team. He had his team-leading 5th home run of the season in the second game in Brooks last night. Mason Rell, the third baseman, now up against Dylan Parton. 1-1 tie. Rell, first pitch swinging to third. Able to field and throw on to first is good job by Trevor Dale. And that is the end of the bottom of the first inning. Barry score a run on 1 hit. There were no Weyburn errors, and nobody left on base. We've played one inning, each team with fence posts up in the first, as you're watching Barrie's baseball on FloCollege. Because I saw it was 6 o'clock. Well. Okay, all right. Okay. Top of the second inning, ready to go here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. A 1-1 tie between the Weyburn Beavers and the Saskatoon Berries. 3 extra base hits already in the game, 3 doubles. 2 by Weyburn, 1 by Saskatoon, resulting in each team getting a run on the board. Here in the top of the second inning, Matt Whitney, the starting pitcher for the Berries, will face the shortstop Zach Tanabe, right fielder Brigham Cocotelo, and the center fielder Chet McDaniel. Tanabe coming up, 286 hitter out of Waipahu, Hawaii, coming off his senior year at Graceland University. Right-handed hitter. First pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Tanabe 10 for 35, leads the team in walks with 7, but he's looked at a couple of strikes from Matt Whitney. Couple of the Berries with their hits in the top of the first inning, extending hitting streaks. Pitch down low, breaking pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Zach Tanabe, who has hits in each of his last 3 games, 3 for 11 in that time, or 273. It's actually brought his average down, despite having a 3-game hit streak. Fouled off towards the Weyburn dugout and bounces back towards the field of play. Be chased down by a member of the Beavers team. 1-2 the count. Whitney. Fastball outside, 2-2. Whitney's got a good fastball. He's not necessarily overpowering, as 7 strikeouts in 11 2/3 innings will indicate. It was foul tip, and there will be the count staying at 2-2 as Menard couldn't hang on to the tip ball. So he stays alive, does Tanabe, against Matt Whitney. Here comes another 2-2 delivery. Hit in the air, center field, well hit. Beck moves back, but short of the warning track, makes the catch in left center field. 1 away. Brigham Cocotelo, the right fielder, coming up. Cocotelo from Langley, BC, coming off his freshman year at Cochise College. 5 for 20 on the season, 250. Right-hand hitter. First pitch from Whitney, swung on and missed, strike 1. Turning into a nice Saturday night here in Saskatoon. That's in there for strike 2. One point today it was 27 degrees Celsius, which was well above the high we were supposed to have. Originally today, when I was looking at the weather forecast, it said 23. And the likelihood of rain was great. There's a swing and a miss, strike three. First strikeout of the evening for Matt Whitney. There's two away. It'll bring up Chet McDaniel, center fielder for the Weyburn Beavers. McDaniel from Lewisburg, Mississippi, coming off his senior year at Central Baptist College. Right-handed hitter. Off to a slow start with the bat, though. 091 so far. First pitch up and away from Matt Whitney, ball one. McDaniel has an RBI and is 0 for his last 9 over 3 games. 3 for 33 overall. Swing and a miss, strike one. These two teams will also play here tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock to complete a 2-game weekend series against East Division rivals. Swing and a miss again, strike two. 1-2 the count on Chet McDaniel. The second baseman Luke Malzewski, the number 9 hitter in the Weyburn lineup, is on deck. 2 away, 1-2 to McDaniel. Fastball up and away, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trying to get the fans involved, make them scream and holler and cheer on Matt Whitney to try and get the third and final out here at the top of the second inning. Whitney delivers. That one is down low, a breaking pitch. Full count. McDaniel looking to get on base. He has walked 3 times, and he's got a 4th bases on balls. First one issued by Matt Whitney. So the number 9 hitter, Luke Malzewski, coming to the plate. Hitting .280 on the year. 7 for 25. Luke Malzewski has a couple of RBIs on the season. Swing and a miss at the first pitch, strike one. Malzewski from Seattle, coming off his sophomore year at Whitman College. Whitney looks back the runner at first. Swing and a miss, strike two. Oh, 2 the count. Quickly on Malzewski, as Whitney would like to get out of the inning and get the Berries back on the bats. Taking off from first is McDaniel. The throw from Menard up high and unable to catch it. Nomar Prieto, he knocks it down, and McDaniel steals second. Pitch was a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Malzewski. So now a runner in scoring position for the Weyburn Beavers here in the top of the second. Malzewski, who's on a 4-game hitting streak, tasked with trying to extend that here right now. Fouled off. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Home plate umpire Mark Clark chasing down the ball with some help from Barry's coaches. Whitney ready to go again. McDaniel dancing off second. Prieto wanting to keep him close. 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. And that will be the end of the inning. No runs, no hits for Weyburn in the top of the second inning. No Barry's errors. 1 runner left on base through an inning and a half. It is the Weyburn Beavers 1 and the Saskatoon Berries 1 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. identify him by number. I said he's the second baseman, the number 9 hitter.
Oh.
That's what I was pointing at. 4. 4 is second base.
Okay, got it.
Out on the second inning upcoming here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Saskatoon Berries and the Weyburn Beavers tied up at 1-1. Berries will send up their 5, 6, and 7 hitters for tonight in Jalen Freeman, Nathan Houston, and Corey Waters to face Dylan Parton, starting pitcher tonight for Weyburn. Freeman, a left-handed hitter against the left-handed pitching Dylan Parton. Parton, 6'2", 220-pound lefty. Freeman from Houston. 2 Texans doing battle here right now. Freeman hitting .289, 13 for 45. First pitch inside, ball 1. Freeman with good speed. Anything in the infield, there's a chance he could leg it out. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Slow curve from Parton, 1-1. Parton ready to deliver again. 1-1 pitch. Fastball popped up and out of play. Foul off the screen. 1-2. Handed in the ball from the Weyburn player did just now after the foul. Mark Clark looking for it. He was all ready to catch it barehanded, one hand. I can tell you Mark Clark could do that. He's pretty good at catching. 1-2, slow curve on the ground towards second. Going to have to hustle it up and the throw to first. Freeman is out. Good play by the second baseman Luke Malzewski on the ground ball to retire Freeman. 1 away. In the bottom of the second inning, Nathan Houston, the shortstop, upcoming. Houston takes a look at a first pitch ball. He's from Melville, Saskatchewan. Hits a line drive into left field. That'll find grass for a base hit. Nathan Houston's 14th hit of the season. He leads the team in stolen bases with 7. And be looking to maybe take off here and get into scoring position for Corey Waters, who's the batter for the Berries, Saskatoon product. Does some pitching, plays some DH tonight at first base. In there for a strike to Waters. Balin Sorensen getting a night off. He's caught a bunch of games for the Berries, 12 out of the 13 so far. Ethan Menard behind the plate, pitch inside to Waters, 1-1. So Menard catching tonight, Waters at first base as Sorensen gets the night off. So far, I mean, he's available to pinch hit. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed by Waters, 1-2. Corey Waters hitting .388. 19 hits and 49 at-bats. He also has 4 home runs and 14 RBI. Hacked into the ground at home plate, foul. Count will remain 1-2. Waters attended Winthrop College this past season, this past winter. This is his sophomore year. One of 7 Saskatoonians in the lineup. 1-2 again, and again fouled off. Dylan Parton only had to throw 7 pitches to get through 4 batters in the first inning as numbers 3 and 4 hitter in the Berries lineup swung at first pitches. Houston takes off, slow curve, hit on the ground, and it gets through past the third baseman into left field. Moving over to third base is Nathan Houston. Let's see what we get here. Going to be a base hit as judged. So Waters extends his hitting streak to 10 games with the single, puts runners on first and third with 1 out, and brings up the designated hitter Cooper Westland. Westland has been playing a lot of second and third so far this year. Takes a first pitch strike from Dylan Parton. Parton ready to go. Runners on first and third. Does Waters take off for second? No, he doesn't. Westland puts this one in the air to right. Medium depth right field. Cocatello with it. Throws it back into the infield. This will get all the way to home plate. But Houston scores standing up. It's a sacrifice fly for Cooper Westland. So both Berries runs tonight have come in on fly balls to the outfield with less than 2 away. And they lead it now 2-1 on the Weyburn Beavers here in the bottom of the second inning. It'll bring up the second baseman, Nomar Prieto. Prieto, right-handed hitter. Swings and misses at the first pitch from Dylan Parton, strike 1. One strike pitch. Prieto up the middle. Second baseman is there. He'll toss it over to the shortstop at the last second for the force out on Corey Waters to retire the side. But the Berries score another run to take a 2-1 lead. They had 2 hits. There were no Weyburn errors and 1 runner left on base. 2 complete here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. It's the Saskatoon Berries 2 and the Weyburn Beavers 1 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
Sorry about that last commercial.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm trying to concentrate, but I was distracted.
It's okay.
At least I got it in.
Yep. Top of the order for the Weyburn Beavers in the top of the third inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Saskatoon Berries with a 2-1 lead on the Beavers. Ryan Daphne, the leadoff man for Weyburn, first baseman. First pitch swinging back at 6:02 to start the game. Bounced to the first baseman, Waters, who tossed it over to the pitcher, Whitney, covering. Daphne on a 4-game hitting streak coming in is now 7 for 16 in that time, and his average has dipped below 300. Barely, 15 for 51. Thanks to that ground out. You'll look at a first pitch strike from Matt Whitney. Whitney is making his 3rd start of the year. He's won both of the previous ones as Daphne swings and misses. Strike 2. Last time out, back on June the 7th, last Saturday to be precise, a 10-5 win in Swift Current. Daphne beats this into the ground. It'll stay foul, and it'll be a 2-strike pitch again when Daphne returns to the batter's box. In that 10-5 win in Swift Current last Saturday, Whitney pitched 5 innings, allowed 5 runs all earned on 10 hits, struck out 3 and walked 1. He won his very first start at home against Regina back on the 31st of May, winning 8-3, 6 2/3 innings with 3 unearned runs. Pitch up high to Daphne. It's now 1-2. Matt Whitney looks to be a guy that's head coach Joe Carnahan, pitching coach Ryan Olchoy will count on. Daphne beats this one into the ground, and this will be an infield single, basically a swinging bunt that allows Daphne to reach first. First hit of the ball game. And Noah Brooks, who doubled his first time up, extended his hitting streak to 4 games, and now improves on his batting average, which coming into the game was .348. He's 17 for 47. He scored the Weyburn run in the top of the first inning after being doubled home by DH Ian Heck. Whitney's first pitch to Brooks is up and away, ball 1. Brooks, 6 foot, 205 pounds, is the left fielder tonight. In for strike 1. 1-1 the count on Noah Brooks. It says on the Jumbotron that Matt Barry's favorite drink is grape. 2-1 after a pitch up and away. Daphne on first. Does not have a stolen base. Usually, your leadoff man is a guy who can steal the bag. And there he goes. This one hit on the ground. 2 hops. Nathan Houston at short, on across to first in time. So they stay out of a double play by starting Daphne. He'll get to second base. Brooks grounds out for the first out. And we've got 1 away. Trevor Dale, the third baseman, coming up. He bounced out to third baseman Mason Rell in the first inning. Number 3 hitter in the order. Whitney with the pitch and a fly ball into center field. Beck coming on, calling. He's got it in shallow center. And Daphne will hold his ground at second base as there's quickly 2 away. DH Ian Heck coming up. Doubled and drove in a run in the first inning. Extended his hitting streak to 5 games, during which he is 7 for 16. Moved his batting average up closer towards the 300 mark at 14 for 46, just below 300 still. Well, actually, it's above 300. That was his 9th RBI of the year. They're back in the first inning. Would like to get a 10th one and tie things up here. Whitney's first pitch is line foul down the third base line. Strike 1. Ian Heck in his 2nd season. Daphne's in his 4th year. Braden Mayencourt, the on-deck hitter, the catcher, is also in his 4th season in the WCBL with the Weyburn Beavers. Golfed into left field, and this one will hook foul as well. 2 strikes quickly on Ian Heck as he gets around a little too quickly on the Matt Whitney pitches. Finds himself in a hole here with 2 away in the top of the 3rd inning. Ethan Menard flashing the signs from behind home plate. Runner on second trying to relay something to Heck, who swings and misses. Strike 3 to end the inning. 3rd strikeout of the evening for Matt Whitney. He gives up a hit to Ryan Daphne leading off the inning, but he is left at second base. No Barry's errors in the top of the 3rd inning, and through 2.5 here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, it is the Saskatoon Berries 2 and the Weyburn Beavers 1 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Top of the order for the Saskatoon Berries in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Ethan Menard, who is the catcher tonight. Center fielder Carter Beck. Right fielder Ethan Murdoch. Menard doubled and scored in the 1st inning. His uniform front pants totally covered in Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field dirt. Equipment manager Max Hildebrand has his work cut out for him to get that one clean. Max doesn't mind, I find. First pitch, curveball, up high, ball 1. Menard now with hits in 4 of 5 games. In there for a strike. Here comes Dylan Parton's 1-1 pitch. Curveball hit on the ground. It'll get through. A diving effort on the part of the 3rd baseman. Trevor Dale diving to his left, couldn't come up with it. Menard is 2 for 2 as he is on first with a leadoff hit. So up comes Carter Beck. Beck grounded out to first back in the 1st inning, allowing Menard to move over to 3rd. Parton's first pitch is in for a strike, according to home plate umpire Matt Clark. Here's the 1-strike pitch. Curveball down and away. Ball 1. Beck 14 for 29, has 3 home runs and 14 RBI. All 3 of the home runs came in the one game a couple of Fridays ago in Moose Jaw against the Miller Express. Fouled off, 1-2. Dylan Parton comes back with the baseball, rubbing it up against his left thigh, getting what he wants as far as a grip. Left-hander. Make sure he'll watch Ethan Menard at first, who had a couple of steals in his first game. Curveball laced into center field, but hanging up there, Chet McDaniel, the center fielder, will make the catch short of short of the warning track, and there's one away as Menard has to return to first. It was a well-hit ball by Beck, just didn't find a hole. So now Ethan Murdoch, whose sacrifice fly brought in Menard from third in the first inning. It was Murdoch's 16th run batted in on the year. Staying at .333 for a batting average, 15 for 45. Menard dancing off a first. Parton ignores, throws a first pitch strike. Murdoch among the Saskatchewan group with this team. Fouls went off. No balls and 2 strikes. He's from Swift Current. In all, the Berries have 15 players on their roster from Saskatchewan, plus 4 other guys who are affiliate players, so all from Saskatoon. So that's 19, and 11 of them call Saskatoon home. Menard dances off first. He goes. Murdoch lets the pitch go, the throw down, and he's safe. He didn't slide. Wow. I think Menard thought he had the base stolen pretty easily, and a pretty good peg down to second base by the catcher, Braden Mayencourt. It was a called strike, or sorry, it was a ball called on Murdoch. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on the right fielder, and he now has a man in scoring position in Menard at second. And now time called. Dylan Parton wants to have a few words with the catcher, Braden Mayencourt. Ethan Menard with his 3rd stolen base of the year gets into scoring position. Mason Rell, the 3rd baseman, is on deck for the Berries here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Murdoch with a chance for a 2nd run batted in this game, if he can find a safe hit into the outfield. Shaking off, still the pitcher. Him and the catcher trying to get together. Dylan Parton and Braden Mayencourt. Slow curveball is in there for strike 3 called. Strikeout number 1 of the evening for Dylan Parton. And there's 2 away. So Mason Rell with a chance to make something happen with 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He, like Carter Beck and Zach Laird, played their winter ball at Indiana State. Rell, though, is from West Bend, Wisconsin, coming off his freshman year at Indiana State. 6'2", 210-pound right-handed hitting 3rd baseman. First pitch from Dylan Parton down low, ball 1. Rell grounded out to 3rd base to finish off the 1st inning. Came into the game hitting .345. Make it .333 now as he's 10 for 30 on the year. Line drive center field. That'll get to the center fielder on 1 hop. Turning 3rd and coming home to score is Ethan Menard. And it's an RBI single for Mason Rell to make the score 3-1. Rell's 6th RBI of the season. So a run on a couple of hits for the Berries in this inning. They're putting up fence posts on that scoreboard. Single runs in each of the first 3 innings here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. So Jalen Freeman now the batter. Grounded out to second his first time up. Playing left field tonight. Taking off, first pitch. Here's Mayencourt's throw down to second, wide of the mark. And Rell steals second to get into scoring position. First pitch, ball 1 to Jalen Freeman. For Mason Rell, that is stolen base number 2. Freeman with 6 RBI this year would like to get a 7th. Slap fouled wide of 3rd base. Strike 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. Freeman coming off his senior year at Eastern New Mexico University. Parton looks back at the runner at second. Pitch outside, 2-1. Mentioned Freeman is a senior. Joe Carnahan has put together a fairly veteran team. That's 12 guys on the roster that have finished their senior year of college, as Freeman fouls a pitch into the third base bleachers. Stays alive at, well, now it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jalen Freeman. Nathan Houston, the shortstop, on deck. Dylan Parton ready to go. Slow curve, fouled off up the first base line. And the count remains 2-2. Freeman came into the game. He's now 13 for 46 on this season. Joined the team late last year. Ooh, his favorite movie is Hancock, according to the Jumbotron. That's pretty deep. 2-1 pitch. Hit in the air to center field. Going back, and making the catch is Chet McDaniel on the warning track in center field. Well tagged by Jalen Freeman, just to the biggest part of the ballpark. But the Berries score another run to make it 3-1. They get 2 hits. No errors by the Weyburn Beavers, and the Berries leave 1 runner on base. After 3 complete, it's the Saskatoon Berries 3, Weyburn Beavers 1. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. No. No. Mm-hmm. Unofficially, your line score here tonight through 3 innings for the Saskatoon Berries, 3 runs on 5 hits. They haven't committed an error and have left 2 runners on base. For the Weyburn Beavers, they've had a run on 3 hits, no errors, and they've left 3 runners on base. Numbers 5, 6, and 7 up for the Weyburn Beavers in the top of the 4th inning against Matt Whitney, the starting pitcher for the Saskatoon Berries. Braden Mayencourt, the catcher, flew out to right field his first time up. First pitch from Whitney is up high, ball 1. Mayencourt, left-handed hitter. On a 4-game hit streak coming into tonight. Outside, ball 2. That was a little low as well. So Ryan Doffney, Noah Brooks, and Ian Heck have extended hitting streaks tonight for Weyburn. Mayencourt looks at a pitch up high. That's ball 3. 3-0. Looking to be the leadoff man on base. 6 of the Beavers in their starting 9 tonight were on hitting streaks of some kind coming into tonight, meaning 3 games or more. Mayencourt took a strike on the 3-0 pitch, now 3-1. Whitney comes back, check swing, but in there for strike 2. So battling back is Matt Whitney in this plate appearance for Braden Mayencourt, the catcher. Payoff pitch. Swung on in line down the right field line. That'll land fair and will get to the fence. Mayencourt around first. He'll go into second base standing up. And we've had several doubles in this game already tonight. That's the third one for the Weyburn Beavers. The Berries have one as well. So Mayencourt with a leadoff double here in the top of the fourth inning. It'll bring up the shortstop, Zach Tanabe, who went 7 pitches deep into his first at-bat against Whitney in the second inning, but eventually hit a fly ball to center field caught by Carter Beck for the first out. This one into right field. Murdoch sets up, makes the catch. Heading to third is Mayencourt. Good throw, Murdoch. He's got him. What a throw by Ethan Murdoch from right field, right on the money. One hopped it in to Mason Rell and beat him cleanly to the bag. So just like that, a double play, and there's 2 away. Gotta love those outfield assists. If you're the team playing defense, and especially if you're the crowd here tonight at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. So 2 away now. And the first pitch down low and in to Brigham Cocatello, who struck out his first time up. Weyburn right fielder. He's the only one in the order tonight for the Weyburn Beavers I didn't have some kind of hitting note about. Fouled off at the plate, 1-1. Matt Whitney rubbing up the baseball, trying to get it to the way he wants it. Then he drops it onto the ground. Maybe that was intentional. He didn't bother rubbing it up again. He's got some grit on it now. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Cocatello on an off-speed delivery. 1-2. Chet McDaniel, the center fielder, is on deck for Weyburn. Nice throw by Ethan Murdoch to cut down Braden Mayencourt, trying to advance to third on a medium death fly ball. There's swing and a miss, strike 3. 4th strikeout of the night for Matt Whitney. He gives up a leadoff double, but that's cut down on a great throw from the outfield by Ethan Murdoch. So no runs, 1 hit, no Berries errors, and no runners left on base. And after 3.5, it is the Berries 3 and the Weyburn Beavers 1 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. No, Florida's. Me too. Trust me, I'm right there with you. I'm from there, so what area? St. Vital? East Kelowna, North Kelowna? Yep. I knew I liked you for some reason. Here we go at the bottom of the 4th inning at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 3-1 the Saskatoon Berries leading the Weyburn Beavers. It'll be Nathan Houston, the shortstop, first baseman Corey Waters, and designated hitter Cooper Westland coming up for Saskatoon this inning to bat against Dylan Parton, the starting pitcher for Weyburn, into his 4th inning of work. Houston singled and scored in the 2nd inning. Houston improving his batting average It was 2:55 coming into the game. 14 for 52. If you've got advanced math skills, you go right ahead and tell me what that is. There's a pitch outside to Nathan Houston, ball one. Swing and a miss. Strike one. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, popped up out of play down the first base side. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nathan Houston. Parton ready to go again. Out of the full windup against the leadoff man. Long look in for the signal. Slow curve, line drive into center field, a base hit. Houston's 2 for 2. He'll scurry around, take a wide turn at first, and retreat to the bag. Sixth hit of the night for the Berries. Corey Waters singled his first time up. He's now hitting .400 thanks to that, and is on a 10-game hitting streak. Parton with a courtesy toss over to first to check on Nathan Houston, who again leads the Berries in stolen bases so far with 7. One would think we might get some motion in here, as the Berries do like to run. That pitch up high to Waters, ball one. Saskatoon has 37 stolen bases as a team, tied for second most in the Western Canadian Baseball League coming into tonight. Houston takes off, pitch low, Mayencourt's throw, and he's out. Umpire Bobby Mark had to wait to make sure that second baseman was up with the throw and held on to it, and he rings him up. So 1 away on the caught stealing, as that's the second time Nathan Houston has been caught stealing this season. The pitch was a ball to Waters, 2-0 the count, and 1 away, and then he throws a strike. 2-1. Cooper Westland, the DH, is on deck. Line drive back up the middle. Parton had to duck to get out of the way of that hot shot. So Waters is 2 for 2. Westland with a sacrifice fly his first time up. He hit it to right field, and Houston was able to score on the play. Westland hitting .278 on the season coming into tonight. 10 for 36. He has 5 runs batted in. Looks at a first pitch strike. That 5th RBI being the sacrifice fly in the second inning that brought in Houston, with the Berries' second run that put him ahead. Weyburn scored in the top of the first. Up and away, ball one to Cooper Westland. And the Berries have scored single runs in each of the first 3 innings. Now we're in the bottom of the 4th. Soft toss over to first to check on Waters, who does have 2 steals this year. Here comes the 1-1 pitch with 1 away. Fouled back to the screen by Westland. 1-2. Cooper Westland from Lincoln, Nebraska. 5 foot 970-pound right-hand hitter. Infielder, can play second and third. Wouldn't be surprised if he could play short. This one on the ground, fielded at first base by Ryan Daphne, and we're going to call him out. Westland dove to the bag, and Daphne was able to get there just ahead with his foot. Waters over to second base, and Westland is out, 2 away. So we have a runner on second with 2 away, and Nomar Prieto, second baseman, grounded into a fielder's choice to finish off the second inning. Prieto coming off his senior year at Texas A&M International from Vega Paja, Puerto Rico. Parton looks back at the runner at second base. Waters pitch in for a strike. 0-2 on Prieto. He's 3 for 13 since joining the Berries. This is his 6th game. All 3 of his hits came last night in the second game of the doubleheader in Brooks. On the ground towards third. Fielded. Look over at the runner, and the throw over to first, unable to be picked out by Ryan Doffney. So we have runners on first and third, and a throwing error to the third baseman, who probably should have just thrown the ball initially once he got it, but he got distracted by Waters, the runner, and thought about tagging him, and when he couldn't make that happen, he then hurried his throw, and right now we've got a discussion out on the field as the Weyburn head coach, Cam Williams, in conversation with third base umpire Bobby Mark about Waters going out of the baseline to avoid the tag. I still maintain if you're the third baseman on a ground ball like that, all you have to do is throw it to first and you get the out and you're out of the inning. But instead, he tried to tag, and when he couldn't do that because Waters avoided him, he hurried his throw and bounced it. So now it's 2 away and runners on first and third for the top of the order and Ethan Menard, who hammers the ball into right center field. Well hit, and it's off the wall. 1 run in to score. Prieto motors around third. He's coming home. 2-run double for Ethan Menard with 2 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. And those are both unearned runs given up by the Weyburn Beavers, as it is now 5-1 for the Saskatoon Berries. Beavers should have been out of the inning. Menard on second. Carter Beck coming up to the plate. Beck 0 for 2. Parton's first pitch down low, ball 1. Left-handed pitching Parton, left-hand hitting Beck. Menard takes off for third. Here's Mancourt's throw, and it's not in time. Menard steals third. That's his 2nd steal of the night, as the pitch to Beck was down low, 2-0. So Carter Beck, with 2 away, looking to find a way to bring in Ethan Menard from third base. Dylan Parton will stay in the stretch with the runner on third behind him. Slow curve in for a strike, 2-1. Just past an hour into this ball game. 23 degrees Celsius. North-northwest wind gusting to 33 kilometers per hour. Up high, ball 3. That was close. But it is now a hitter's count here for Carter Beck, with 2 away in the bottom of the 4th inning. A 3-1 pitch upcoming. Down low, ball 4. And there's runners on first and third now, with 2 away and Ethan Murdoch coming up. And we may get ourselves a pitching change because there has been action down the left field line in the Weyburn bullpen. Head coach Cam Williams coming out to talk to Dylan Parton. Probably tell him, you know what, son, You should be out of this inning, but you're not. Sorry to say, your defense let you down a bit. We need you to get one more out if you can here. But this is a long visit as they're trying to buy some time for the pitcher down the left field line to get warmed. But he doesn't even have his warm-up jacket off yet. So Parton's going to pitch to Ethan Murdoch, the Berries right fielder, who drove in the Berries' first run of the game with a sacrifice fly in the bottom of the first and struck out against Parton in the third. Murdoch with a team-leading 12 walks. Would prefer to get on base with a hit here. Bring in Menard. Mentioned that wind gusting to 33 kilometers. Here's Beck taking off for second. Mayencourt fakes the throw and watches Menard go back to third base. A stolen base for Carter Beck. And the Berries have men on second and third. Murdoch with a base hit into left field. One run scores, bobbled in left field. Beck was going to score anyway as he's got the good wheels, and it's 7-1. A 2-run single for Ethan Murdoch. He has 3 RBIs in the game. And it is now 7-1 for the Berries, as they already have 4 hits in the inning and 9 for the ball game. All of these runs that they've scored are unearned. Mason Rell now the batter. Pitch inside, ball 1. Rell singled, drove in a run in the third inning. He's 1 for 2. He also stole a base, did Mason Rell last inning. Parton with a throw over to first to check on Ethan Murdoch. Berries have stolen 4 bases in this game. Been caught once. Now a toss over the first, little high, as Parton has a better move than what he has shown finally there. Quick step off. Just there. Taking off for second is Rell, and the throw by Mayencourt from his knees did not have a chance to get the base runner Rell. 1-1 is the count, or make that the runner Murdoch. He has a steal. Mason Rell is at the dish. 1 ball, 1 strike. This one hit in the air to right field, but it's hanging up there enough for the right fielder to catch it, that being Brigham Cocatello. The Berries score 4 runs, though, in the bottom of the 4th inning. They do it on 4 hits. There was 1 big Weyburn error and 1 runner left on base. After 4 complete at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, it's the Saskatoon Berries 7 and the Weyburn Beavers 1, as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. You don't have to. Top of the 5th inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Saskatoon Berries have gotten out to a 7-1 lead on the Weyburn Beavers. And it'll be batters 8, 9, and 1 for Weyburn in the top of the 5th inning. Center fielder Chet McDaniel first up against starting pitcher for the Berries, Matt Whitney, who's given up 4 hits and 1 run through 4 innings of work. First pitch is outside, ball 1. Whitney's pitch in for strike 1. Whitney ready to go again. Fouled off, and 1-2 now the count on McDaniel. Quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard after 1 period in Stanley Cup Final Game number 5. Brad Marchand and Sam Bennett have scored the goals. Florida leads Edmonton 2-0 in Edmonton. Strike 3 called on Chet McDaniel. That's strikeout number 5 of the night for Matt Whitney. Saskatchewan Roughriders leading the Hamilton Tiger Cats 17-10. I believe that is through 3 quarters of play as they look to go 2-0. First pitch down low to Luke Malzewski, the second baseman for Weyburn. Malzewski struck out his first time up back in the 2nd inning. Whitney's pitch off the glove of catcher Ethan Menard. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sorry, 2-0 is the count. The count on Malzewski. Up high, 3-0. Malzewski, sophomore from out of Whitman College this past winter, called strike because he was taking a 3-0 pitch all the way. Here we come again with a 3-1 pitch from Matt Whitney. Fouled off. And we've got a full count. Matt Whitney, the pitcher. Luke Malzewski, the batter. Matt Clark, the home plate umpire, says, let's go. Full count pitch coming. Swung on in line towards second base. Prieto up with it, throws to first in time. That was kind of off the handle and flared towards second base. And that's 2 away now as Prieto, ranging to his left, able to make the play. Ryan Daphne, the leadoff man, up now. He singled his last time up, extended his hitting streak to 5 games, during which he's 8 for 17. That's just under 500. Again, don't ask for the specific average. My math is good, just not that good. First pitch inside to Daphne, ball 1. Again, in his 4th season with the Weyburn Beavers. Does some pitching for them. He plays first base. I've seen him play third last year. Fouls a pitch back, 1-1. Been a pretty steady performer for Weyburn. Hit .290 in 2022 with a home run and 18 RBIs. .281 in 2023 with 3 home runs and 22 RBI. And last year hit .278 for Weyburn with 2 home runs and 25 RBI. He's already got 16 RBI this year. Inside, 2-1. And he's just hitting above 300. So being in the leadoff spot, that only happens once a game usually. So a lot of times, if you're bottom third or getting on base, you do have chances for some RBIs as he hits a fly ball into straightaway center field. Beck back to catch it just before the warning track, and that's a 3-up, 3-down, top of the 5th inning for the Weyburn Beavers here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. No runs, no hits, no Barry's errors, nobody left on base. After 4.5, halfway home, 7-1, Saskatoon leads Weyburn as you're watching Barry's baseball on FloCollege.
Can you watch it? I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Yep,
Make sure you watch it.
I'm going to. No, I'm not going to. Okay, thank you. So we have a pitching change for Weyburn coming into the bottom of the 5th inning. Left-hander Dylan Parton is out, having pitched 4 innings, allowing 9 hits and 7 runs. The first 3 were earned, the last 4 all unearned in the bottom of the 4th inning. Parton had just 1 strikeout, and he only walked 1 batter. He faced 22 batters and threw 68 pitches. Into the game is Jackson Henderson out of Snohomish, Washington, coming off his senior year at Northwest Nazarene University. Jackson Henderson is making his season debut with Swift Current. So he's a newcomer, at least this season, to the Swift Current or to the Weyburn Beavers. He'll face left fielder Jalen Freeman first, left-handed hitting Barry's left fielder. First pitch swinging up the first base line over the bag. Freeman thought that was going to be foul. Instead, it ends up being a fair ball and a fairly easy out. And he's now 0 for 3 on the night as the first baseman Ryan Doffney takes the play and gets the first out. First pitch swinging was Freeman. So now it's Nathan Houston, who's 2 for 2 tonight. Singled and scored in the 2nd inning. Singled and was caught stealing in the 4th. And the first pitch from Jackson Henderson is in for a strike. Wind's starting to die down a touch, as it usually does in the evenings here. They're going to look at first base for Phil McGee, the crew chief, on an appeal. It's a ball, 1-1. They thought Houston went around. He did not. 1-1 pitch to him. Down and in, ball 2, 2-1. Jackson Henderson in for Weyburn. Down low, 3-1. Beavers pitching this year, coming into tonight, an earned run average of 5.74 as a team, which is 7th best in the 12-team league. Giving up a .281 batting average to the opponent, which is 9th best. On the inside corner to Nathan Houston, strike 2. Anytime a batter starts to walk out of the box thinking he has a walk, I think the umpires intentionally throw up the right hand and say strike if it's anywhere close. 3-2, hit back up the middle, deflected by the pitcher, but it still gets out into center field, and Nathan Houston is a perfect 3 for 3 tonight. 3 singles on the night. That's the 10th hit of the ball game for the Berries. Corey Waters up. He, like Houston, came into this half inning 2 for 2 on the game. Couple of singles. Scored last inning. Looks at the first pitch ball. 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Swing and a miss. Waters was looking to hit that one out of the park. 1-1. Jackson Henderson looks in, down low and outside. A breaking pitch, 2-1. Some more Beavers stuff. They've struck out 124 batters coming into tonight, which was tied for 5th best in the league. And their team whip was 1.65. There's a swing and a miss, and strike 2. 2-2 the count on Waters. Jackson Henderson looking to get a second out here. Houston at first. Waters fouls it off out of play over top of the first base bleachers. 2-2 the count remains. Whip is one of those analytic stats. It's probably one of the simpler ones, which I like. It's walks and hits per innings pitched allowed. Waters on the ground as Houston started. Ground ball to short. Throw over to first in time, but Houston gets into scoring position at second base as there's now 2 away for the Berries in the bottom of the 5th inning. And it'll bring up the designated hitter, Cooper Westland. Westland hit a sacrifice fly to right field, drove in the Berries' second run back in the 2nd inning. Grounded out to first his last time up. First pitch swinging, fly ball into right field. Back a couple of steps and over to his right to make the catch for the 3rd out is Brigham Cocatello. And for the first time tonight, the Berries do not score a run in an inning. They get no runs in the bottom of the 5th on 1 hit. No Weyburn errors, 1 runner left on base. We have played 5 complete, and it is 7-1 for the Saskatoon Berries over the Weyburn Beavers as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Because he flew out to right field.
He caught the ball?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Matt Whitney is back out for the top of the 6th inning. The Berries starting pitcher tonight. He's been staked to a 7-1 lead as the Berries go looking for a 5th straight win on the little roll that they're on. They lost their first game and then won 7 in a row before losing their second game back on Sunday as the first pitch by Whitney to Noah Brooks is down and in, ball 1. That was a loss to Swift Current, 7-6. In for a strike, 1-1 to Brooks. And now 4 straight wins since then for the Berries. 1-1 pitch foul back to the screen by Brooks. 1-2. He doubled and scored to Noah Brooks in the first inning. Grounded out to short in the third. Extended his hitting streak to 4 games with that first inning double. Matt Whitney working out of the stretch. 1-2 is down low. 2-2 the count. Beavers 4-8 this year. Well hit into right field. Hanging, and it is out of here. A solo home run for Noah Brooks to give them their second run as they cut into the lead at 7-2. A leadoff homer for Noah Brooks, first of the season. So now it'll be the number 3 hitter, Trevor Dale, third baseman, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Noah Brooks is 2 for 3 and has scored both of their runs now. First pitch swinging, popped up. On the infield, first baseman Corey Waters coming in will make the catch. There's one away. So up comes the cleanup man, Ian Heck, who doubled and drove in Brooks in the first inning and struck out last time up in the third for him. He's 1 for 2. That's the 9th home run of the season for the team, for the Weyburn Beavers. Swing and a miss. A foul tip, actually. Strike 1. Heck got a piece of that one. Awkward swing. I think he was fooled. Matt Whitney. Swing and a miss by Heck. 0-2 the count. Action down the right field line for the Berries in the bullpen. Out there warming up is Travis Phelps. Pitch down low, 1-2 to Ian Heck. Braden Mancourt, the catcher, is warming up, or is on deck, I should say, for Weyburn, who missed the playoffs last year. 17 wins and 39 losses. This one queued up the third base line. Up with it is Whitney. The throw to first is not in time. Corey Waters couldn't hang on to the throw, but I think Heck was across the bag anyway, so it's an infield single for Ian Heck with one away. So up now is Braden Mancourt, the catcher. Doubled to lead off the 4th inning and was gunned out at third base by Ethan Murdoch on a fly ball out. And Mancourt with a check swing that's called a strike. 4th-year catcher is 1 for 2. On the ground towards second. Prieto dives, comes up with it, stumbles, throws to first. He still gets him. Put a gold star beside that one for a defensive play by Nomar Prieto, who ranges to his left and dives to make the stab on the ball and gets up in time to throw out Mancourt for the second out as Heck advances to second base. Great play by Nomar Prieto, the Berries' second baseman. From Vega Baja in Puerto Rico. Zach Tanabe, the shortstop, now up. Couple of fly ball outs for him in the game. 0 for 2. First pitch in for a strike to Tanabe. came into the game hitting .286. 2 away, run in for Weyburn, trailing 7-2 in the top of the 6th inning. Swing and fouled off towards the Berries dugout. 0-2 quickly the count. And again, with 2 out and 2 strikes, PA announcer Simon Hyatt urging the crowd to get noisy, to make some noise and try and get the 3rd out and get out of the inning. Whitney's going to back off the mound and say, let me rethink what I want to do here to try and get that 3rd out. Brigham Cocateo is the right fielder on deck for Weyburn. 2-strike pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. That may very well have been the last pitch of the night for Matt Whitney. We'll see come the top of the 7th who's out on the mound, but that is his 6th strikeout of the evening as the Beavers get a run on a home run by Noah Brooks. 2 hits, no Berries errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 5.5 innings, it is 7-2 for the Saskatoon Berries over the Weyburn Beavers as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. I know. Yep. Jackson Henderson back out to pitch for Weyburn in the bottom of the 6th inning. Saskatoon Berries will send up the number 9 hitter Nomar Prieto, and then back to the top of the order for Ethan Menard and Carter Beck. Prieto is 0 for 2 tonight. Reached on an error back in the 4th inning and came around to score. But he made the big defensive play of the game thus far, at least the most shining defensive play of the game, just this last half inning for Weyburn as he dove to his left and was able to throw out Braden Mayencourt. Out of town tonight in the Western Canadian Baseball League. We'll get you some updates here. First pitch to Prieto is in for strike 1. These are all later starts than our game. Our game started at 6, everybody else starting at 7 o'clock. As Jackson Henderson ready to deliver, bounces a pitch in, ball 1, 1-1. Regina leads Medicine Hat 2-0 in the top of the 2nd inning. Energy City and Okotoks are scoreless in the bottom of the 2nd. Same thing, bottom of the 2nd. Lethbridge and Fort McMurray scoreless. Prieto lifts a fly ball into right field, but Cocatelo is there, and he'll make the catch, and there's 1 away. So now Ethan Menard, the top of the order for the Berries, is 3 for 3 tonight with 3 runs scored. Couple of strikeouts, 2 doubles as well for Menard. He also has a couple of runs batted in. Moose Jaw leads in Swift Current 4-0 in the top of the 2nd inning. Menard swings and fouls the first pitch off over the first base bleachers. Strike 1. And Sylvan Lake and Brooks are scoreless in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Everybody in the pool tonight again in the Western Canadian Baseball League, as you would expect on a weekend. Nice Saturday everywhere. Menard chops this one up towards third base. Pitcher Henderson with it, throws, and he's safe. Daphne caught the ball, put the tag up high. First base umpire McGee is going to say that he tagged him up high after he touched the bag, and here comes Cam Williams, the head coach for the Beavers, out to talk things over with the crew chief, Phil McGee, who's umpiring at first base. call stands. It'll be an error on the Weyburn Beavers pitcher, as it was his high throw. He got off the mound to his right towards the third baseline to field the ball and threw it, but it was a little high. Daphne, the first baseman, had to jump up in the air to catch it and tried to sweep tag at the same time. He did make contact with Menard, but in the eyes of first base umpire Phil McGee, Menard touched first before the tag was applied, and hence he's on first base with one away here, and Carter Beck now is the batter. Beck is 0 for 2, but he walked and stole a base and scored a run in the fourth. This will be the first time he's facing a right-handed pitcher tonight. Henderson, first pitch is a strike, but it got away from the catcher Mayencourt, and Menard will dive into second base off of the pass ball. Ball one. Or sorry, strike one they called, so it was a called strike by the home plate umpire Mark Clark. So one strike. Menard advances to second. Beck hits a fly ball. Shallow center field. Coming on is Chet McDaniel, and that's 2 away. So now Ethan Murdoch to the plate. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Singled, stole a base, and drove in a run. Actually, he's driven in 3 runs. Sacrifice fly in the first inning, and then his single in the fourth brought home both Ethan Menard and Carter Beck. 7-2, bottom of the 6th inning. And Jackson Henderson's first pitch to Ethan Murdoch is a called strike. Mason Rell on deck, hoping to get a crack at it. Ball gets away from the catcher Mayencourt all the way to the backstop. Menard will come down to third on a wild pitch this time. 1 ball, 1 strike. So now Jackson Henderson will chat things over with the catcher. Braden Mayencourt may have had their signals crossed up there. Mayencourt thought he was getting something else when he called for the pitch, and pitcher Henderson threw him something completely different. 1-1 the count. Murdoch swings and misses, strike 2. 1-2. Murdoch went to Marshall University. We are Marshall. Hit on the ground to short. Good room service hop for the shortstop, and he'll throw out Murdoch at first base. Zach Tanabe making the play. Second straight inning, the Berries don't get a run on the board. No runs, no hits. 1 Weyburn error, 1 runner left on base. And through 6 innings complete here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, it is the Saskatoon Berries 7, the Weyburn Beavers 2, as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
So that was the 3rd strike. That's why it's not counted that Menard came in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm getting there.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Oh, yeah.
What?
Got a new pitcher for Berries.
Doing okay?
So as we head to the top of the 7th inning, it is 7-2 for the Saskatoon Berries over the Weyburn Beavers. Quick look, I should say, at the line score for the Berries. 7 runs on 10 hits. They have not committed an error and left 5 runners on base. Weyburn, 2 runs on 6 hits. They've committed 2 errors, and they've left 4 runners on base as we're getting a pitching change for the Saskatoon Berries. Travis Phelps is into the ball game. He'll be making his appearance here. It's his 3rd one, all of them in relief previously. He's pitched 2 innings, allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, struck out 4, walked 2, and has credit for a win in one of those 2 outings, a 9.00 earned run average. Travis Phelps is a senior out of Lamar University. Calls Alvin, Texas his home. 6'4", 215-pound right-handed pitcher. Matt Whitney with a pretty solid 6 innings of work, though. Gives up 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He struck out 6. And I believe he walked just the 1. That is the case. So Weyburn will send up the bottom 3rd of their order against Travis Phelps here in the top of the 7th inning. Right fielder Brigham Kokatayo, and the first pitch hits him on the left leg. So a bit of an inauspicious start. Runner on first, Kokatayo. Chet McDaniel, the center fielder, up. He's 0 for 1, walked and stole a base in the 2nd inning, struck out in the 5th. Kokatayo, as it's fouled back by McDaniel, strike 1. Kokatayo has it to attempt to steal, playing in his 7th game with the Weyburn Beavers. Phelps ready to deliver. Up and in. Ball 1, 1-1. He's got good gas, so that's going to smart when it hits you. Luke Malzewski, the second baseman, is on deck. Here's Phelps' 1-1 delivery. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Ethan Menard bluffed a throw to first, and Kokatayo scrambles back to the bag. Warming up down the right field line is Zach Laird in the Berries bullpen. Nobody down the left field side for Weyburn, as fouled off down the first base line. McDaniel stays alive. (7-2), Berries with the lead in the top of the 7th inning. First of a 2-game series between these teams here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 1-2 pitch. Curveball stays up high, 2-2. Getting the lead off first is Kokatayo. Phelps with the 2-2 pitch. Up high. Full count. There's an interesting Barry fun fact. Travis thinks that Drake is overrated. Discuss amongst yourselves. 3-2 pitch down low, ball 4. And we've got the first 2 men on for Weyburn in the top of the 7th inning. Because it was a walk. So now it's Luke Malzewski, the second baseman, up. Pitch inside, ball one. 2 men on for Weyburn. Malzewski 0 for 2, struck out in the second inning, grounded out to second in the fifth. Phelps, pitch in there for a strike. 1-1. Weyburn trying to claw their way back into this one. A promising start for that here in this top of the seventh. A swing and a miss by Malzewski. 1-2. As Zach Laird continues to warm up down the right field line for the Berries. Again, these teams will meet tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, Father's Day tomorrow. Pitch up high. 2-2 the count on Malzewski. 1 o'clock game tomorrow. Matinee here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. And of course, we've got it for you here on FloCollege. 2-2 pitch, swung on, fouled off over the first base bleachers. Malzewski stays alive at 2-2. Malzewski back into the right-hand batter's box. Phelps looking back at the second baseman. 2-2 pitch. Curveball outside. Full count. Saskatchewan Roughriders and Hamilton are tied 17 all in the fourth quarter. CFL action tonight. 3-2 pitch grounded into the hole, backhanded by Houston. The throw on to third in time. Runner going from second to third. Kokatayo, I don't think, realized that the play was going to be at third base. He didn't slide. He stayed on his feet. So Malzewski into a fielder's choice. Makes it the first, McDaniel to second, and Kokatayo is thrown out at third base for the first out. So one away for Weyburn here in the top of the seventh. Runners on first and second. They're just different now. Chet McDaniel, the runner at second. Luke Malzewski at first. Back to the top of the order for Ryan Daphne, his fourth plate appearance. And now, fake. Stepping off the rubber was Phelps. And Ethan Menard over to chat now with the pitcher at the mound quickly. It'll be Daphne, who's 1 for 3 tonight, singled in the third. Grounded out, flew out. In his fourth season, 4 doubles among his 16 hits this year. Phelps ready to deliver to Daphne. First pitch down low, ball 1. All right, we can update you now that CFL game. 2.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. And the Riders have a 27-23 lead in Hamilton. Hit up the first base. Waters will field it, touch the bag, and retire Daphne. And the runners, McDaniel, come down to third base and Malzewski to second, but there's now 2 away. For Noah Brooks. And Brooks has been the guy who scored the 2 runs for Weyburn in this game. Doubled in the first inning and scored on Ian Heck's double and hit a solo home run to right field back in the 6th inning to lead off. Travis Phelps' first pitch to him is a strike. So this is fairly notable at bat for Weyburn if they want to get back into this game. Their best hitter of the night with a chance to get a couple of ducks in. Curveball down low, ball 1. Earlier today, Calgary Stampeders won in Toronto 29-19. NHL 2 periods complete. Florida leads in Edmonton 2-0 in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final. That's the out-of-town stuff you need to know. We'll get to the WCBL scoreboard in a moment as Brooks with a ground ball that gets under the glove of Houston into left field. 2 runs will score, and Noah Brooks has himself 2 RBI on a base hit into center field. Makes it 7-4. Two away. Trevor Dale, the third baseman, now up. Line drive into right field. That finds grass. Ethan Murdoch up with the ball and gets it back into the infield as Brooks will advance only to second base. First and second with 2 away. And Zach Laird is starting to heat up down the right field line as it's now a 3-run deficit. So it brings up Ian Heck. DH is 2 for 3 tonight. Pitch down low, bounces, blocked by Menard, 1 ball. Heck doubled and drove in a run in the first inning, singled in the 6th. Ian Heck from Antelope, California. Fouls a pitch over the top of the first base bleachers. Out of play, 1-1. Travis Phelps facing his 7th batter in his first inning of work here in the top of the 7th. Weyburn trailed 7-1 at one point, but a run in the 6th and 2 in here already in the 7th have made it 7-4 as that pitch is down low. Ball 2, 2-1. Noah Brooks at second base. Trevor Dale, the runner at first for the Beavers. Heck represents the tying run. Swing and fouls it back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Heck back into the right-hand batter's box to face Travis Phelps. Phelps either gets Heck or this might be his last batter. With a left-handed hitting Mayencourt coming up and the lefty pitcher Laird warming up. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Phelps gets out of the inning, but not before Weyburn scores a couple of runs. On 2 hits. There were no Barry's errors and 2 runners left on base. Heading to the 7th inning stretch here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. It's the Saskatoon Berries 7 and the Weyburn Beavers 4. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Hang on. Okay. Okay. Yep. New pitcher into the ball game for the Weyburn Beavers. It'll be right-hander Josiah Mendoza. Josiah Mendoza from Clovis, New Mexico, coming off his freshman year at Eastern New Mexico University. That sounds familiar. Eastern New Mexico University. That meant he was a teammate of the Berries' Jalen Freeman this past winter. Josiah Mendoza make his 6th appearance in relief. No record. He's pitched 4 1/3 innings, allowed 8 hits, 10 runs, 6 earned, has struck out 5, walked 4. His earned run average is 12.46. Mendoza will face Mason Rell, his Eastern New Mexico University teammate Jalen Freeman, and then Nathan Houston. As the first pitch to Mason Rell is up high for a ball. Mendoza is a lefty. Second pitch down low with a breaking pitch, 2-0. 7-4 Berries with the lead in the bottom of the 7th inning. 2-0 pitch swung on by Rell, fly ball into left field. Coming across to his left in medium depth left field and making the catch is Noah Brooks. So it'll bring up Jalen Freeman. Freeman's 0 for 3 tonight. Couple of ground outs and a fly out. First pitch from Mendoza to his university teammate Freeman is a strike. One strike pitch, make that 2 strikes on Freeman. As Mendoza with an off-speed offering, and Freeman takes a walk around the batter's box area. Gets back in. Mendoza's 2 strike pitches up high, 1-2. Josiah Mendoza, 1-2 delivery. That one's up over top of the head of Freeman. Slow curve, 2-2. And away comes Mendoza again. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. 2 away. Nathan Houston, the shortstop, coming up. Houston's a perfect 3 for 3 tonight. Singled and scored in the 2nd. Singled and was thrown out stealing in the 4th, and singled in the 5th inning. It's a pretty good night for the Melville product and shortstop for the Saskatoon Berries. Mendoza, the 3rd pitcher for Weyburn. Does that one get away from him, and it's a ball. They still have a severe thunderstorm watch for here in Saskatoon as that pitch is up high, ball 2. 21 degrees Celsius. Winds out of the north-northeast now at 13 kilometers per hour, so they've abated quite a bit from what they were earlier. And now Houston gets hit by the 2-0 pitch. And a runner on first base. So up comes Corey Waters as we get an official attendance tonight of 1,802 here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, about 300 short of capacity. Good sized crowd on a Saturday night. First pitch off the glove of Mayencourt outside and heading on over to second on a second pass ball of the night. Charge to the catcher Braden Mayencourt. Ball 1 to Waters. 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th, but now the Berries have a man in scoring position, and if Waters can come through with a base hit, as that's up and away again, ball 2, 2-0. Waters 2 for 3 tonight. Singled in the 2nd, singled and scored in the 4th, grounded out in the 5th inning. On the outside corner, a curveball is good, strike 1. Josiah Mendoza delivers. Same type of pitch. Stays outside though. Ball 3. 3-1. Cooper Westland, the DH, is on deck. And holding up and not swinging is Corey Waters. He'll take a base on balls, and there's runners on first and second with 2 away for Cooper Westland. Westland is 0 for 2. Has an RBI from a second inning sacrifice fly, grounded out and flown out. And now in from first base for a chat is the 4th-year veteran Ryan Doffney with the Beavers to talk things over. Zach Laird is still throwing down the right field line, and we do have action down the left field line in the Weyburn bullpen. We'll catch that number here in a moment, but Mendoza's first pitch clips Westland on the left arm, just caught him probably on the uniform sleeve, but it's a hit batsman, a second one, and now the bases are loaded. So warming up down the left field line is Isaiah Granado, right-hander. Nomar Prieto is coming up with the bases loaded and 2 away, and Cam Williams, the head coach of the Weyburn Beavers, out to talk to his pitcher and the entire infield and catcher, as the Berries have a shot at doing something here. But they need Prieto to come through with a base hit or a walk or a hit batsman, which has happened twice already this half inning. That would be the tough way to get an RBI. It would be a hurtful way to get an RBI to the batter, but it would work. As that pitch is down low, and ball 1 to Nomar Prieto with the bases loaded. Josiah Mendoza got the first 2 guys out this inning, but now having trouble getting the third one. Prieto inside, ball 2. Oh, I see some darker clouds to the south of us. There was a clap of thunder heard. 2-0 pitch on the outside corner, the slow curve. Backdoor curve makes it 2-1. Prieto hits a fly ball into shallow right field. Right fielder started back. The ball's going to drop in. They'll collide. 2 runs in to score. Stopping at third base and also at second, Prieto and Westland. Prieto at second, Westland at third, and we have an injured Weyburn ball player out there in right field. The second baseman went back trying to make the play on the ball, that being Luke Malzuski, I should say. And coming in was the right fielder Kokotayo. They collided together, and, well, looks like Malzuski's going to be all right. I think he just needed a moment as he gets back up to his knees. A couple of runs in for the Berries to make it 9-4, as it's going to be a double and 2 RBI for Nomar Prieto. Nathan Houston and Corey Waters score, and Cooper Westland around to third base on the play. So Ethan Menard will be the batter. Just wait. Menard is 3 for 4 tonight. As we're going to have runners at second and third with 2 away. And we've got a new player into the ball game for Luke Malzuski. Weyburn will bring Alex Alva into the ball game to play second base. Ethan Menard is at the plate. First pitch way up and outside, ball one. Inside, ball two to Menard. 2-0 the count with 2 away. On the ground towards third. Collected there by the third baseman. The throw across, can't come up with it. Daphne looking around for it. 2 runs come in to score as Prieto from second was running all the way. Make it 11-4 now on the throwing error by the third baseman, Trevor Dale. And so now it's all gone the Berries' way since making the first 2 outs of this bottom of the 7th inning. 4 runs in. Another error for Weyburn. Menard on first. He takes off for second, and the pitch hits Beck in the back. That's 3 hit batsmen in this inning by Josiah Mendoza after he got the first 2 men out. And we're going to get a pitching change as a result, as Mendoza got 2 men out, and now the next 6 have reached base, including 3 by hit batsmen, 1 walk, an error, and a double. So basically, the Berries have scored 4 runs this inning with the benefit of just 1 hit, and that was a bloop double just over the second baseman's head and short of the right fielder. And the new pitcher coming in is going to be Isaiah Granado out of Pico Rivera, California, coming off his freshman year at Whitman College. So he'll get some warm-up pitches here in the bottom of the 7th as the Berries have made it 11-4. So warming up is Granado. As we're into the bottom of the 7th inning, and the Berries have put up another 4 spot. They scored 4 in the 4th inning and now have 4 here in the 7th. Runners on first and second. Menard on second, Beck on first, and Ethan Murdoch will face Isaiah Granado. Granado will be the 4th pitcher of the night for the Weyburn Beavers, making his 6th appearance in relief. Has a loss in those 5 previous relief appearances. A 5.40 earned run average. Has pitched 10 innings, allowed 11 hits, 9 runs, 6 of them earned. Struck out 15 and walked 5, so 15 strikeouts in 10 innings. Pretty fair. As Granado continues his warm-up tosses here. And Ethan Murdoch gets an opportunity to hit the 9th man to come to the plate in this inning. 3 errors by Weyburn in this ball game. The first one back in the 4th inning contributed to 4 unearned runs against the starting pitcher Dylan Parton. And the error in this inning has allowed the Berries to score a couple of runs unearned. So 6 of their 11 runs are unearned, as Isaiah Granado now is ready to go here against Ethan Murdoch. First pitch in for a strike. Granado threw 3 to the backstop during warm-up, and yet comes in and throws the first one right down the middle for a strike. There was an old Coke bottle glasses thrower in the Yankees many years ago that did that sort of a thing. 1-1 the count to Murdoch, who's 1 for 3 tonight with a sacrifice fly and a 2-run single. So 3 RBI for the right fielder out of Swift Current. Murdoch, with swing and a foul off, as Menard and Beck were off at the pitch. Now a ball and 2 strikes. Mason Rell on deck. If he gets to the plate here in the bottom of the 7th, he'll be the 10th hitter of the game for the Berries, or the inning for the Berries. One, two, the count. Granado's pitch up high, 2-2. Two and two the count. 2 away. Bottom of the 7th inning. Runners on first and second. On the ground wide of third base, foul. Count remains 2-2. You get a look at those 2 jerseys out on the diamond right now for the Berries. Ethan Menard could be nicknamed Pigpen with all the dirt that's on his jersey. Carter Beck, and just a little bit, but for the most part, that jersey is clean white. The jersey is the pants a little bit dirty. Now they both dance around off the bags and take off. And Murdoch, a slicing drive down the right field line. That is going to twist foul off the fence. That was well tagged, but it sliced foul by about 5 feet. Count remains 2-2. As home plate umpire Mark Clark will sweep off the plate. Just taking a look at the radar, boy, there's stuff coming, it looks like. 2-2 the count. On the ground towards shortstop. Picked, throw to second in time to get Beck, and that's the inning. But the Berries go through the order and score 4 runs on 1 hit. There was 1 Weyburn error and 2 runners left on base. After 7 complete, it is the Saskatoon Berries 11 and the Weyburn Beavers 4. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
Hi. That picture is just dark.
New pitcher.
Well, when I saw it, I thought right away, but I let you know. Five.
Well, watching the radar come through, we've got a pretty significant system coming through here in the next little bit, and I think it's actually starting to rain a little bit as some fans are moving about in the seats down the third and first baseline. So Dallin Root into the game now for the Berries here in the top of the 8th inning to pitch. He'll be the 3rd man to throw tonight for Joe Carnahan and the Berries. for Dallin Rude. It's his 5th appearance of the season, all in relief. He has a win and a save in relief. 4 in the 3rd innings, 3 hits, has not allowed a run as of yet.
I'm basically doing the balls and strikes and then letting him have entering the bases, then I can do the rest.
And Dallin Rude will face the catcher, Braden Mayencourt, the shortstop, Zach Tanabe, and the right fielder, Brigham Kokoteo. Mayencourt is 1 for 3. Doubled in the 4th inning. Thrown out trying to advance to 3rd on a fly ball to right field, Ethan Murdoch. Between Murdoch's throw to nail him at 3rd and the play. Wow, Mayencourt hammers the first pitch, and this one is up and away, a home run. There's Rude's first run allowed, and it comes off of a home run by Braden Mayencourt, and that's the 2nd solo home run to lead off an inning by the Weyburn Beavers in this game tonight. So that makes it 11-5. Zach Tanabe, the shortstop, upcoming, 0 for 3. Yep, it's starting to rain. People are starting to scurry. The wind is coming up. We're starting to see the dirt fly a little, and now Mark Clark, I think, is going to say, you know what? Let's get the tarp out, and let's get the tarp on the field so that they can finish this game off. But we're going to have a delay here now at 8:22 on Saturday evening as the rain is coming down, and there is a fairly significant cell above us here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. So we will be back in a little bit, I guess. I don't know if we can continue on with nothing going on here at the ballpark. Just give you an update here. We are 1 batter into the top of the 8th inning. And the Saskatoon Berries lead the Weyburn Beavers by a score of 11-5. For the Berries in this game, they have 11 runs on 11 hits. They have yet to commit an error and have left 7 runners on base. On the Weyburn side of things, they have 5 runs on 9 hits. They have committed 3 errors, and they've left 6 runners on base. We're into a weather delay, as they says out on the right field jumbotron here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, as the Berries players all involved in getting that tarp down. The other thing they have to do is stretch it all out and get a bunch of sandbags down and clamp it down, because suddenly that wind has come up pretty significantly here right now. A thunderstorm going through Saskatoon in the southwest part of the city as we have it here. 21 degrees is the temperature, and it's going down. The north-northeast wind at 10 kilometers per hour. It came up quickly and now is, well, it's still kind of significant out there, but the tarp has gone down pretty quickly. And do we stick with this and stay on with them? Or are we able to take a break of some kind and come back in a minute? So, folks at FloCollege, we're going to take a time out here for the weather delay. And when we come back, we will have the remainder of the ball game. We're in the top of the 8th. It's 11-5, Saskatoon with the lead on Weyburn, as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. All right, the tarps are starting to come off here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. And we will have more baseball here in a few moments' time. Western Canadian Baseball League game between the Saskatoon Berries and the Weyburn Beavers was called because of a thunderstorm that went through here about a half an hour ago at 8:22. And as we approach momentarily, will be a half an hour actually into the rain delay, but the tarps are starting to come off. The Saskatoon Berries leading the Weyburn Beavers 11-5. We're in the top of the 8th inning. Just before the rains hit, Braden Mayencourt, the Weyburn catcher, led off the top of the 8th inning with a solo home run to right field off of relief pitcher Dallin Rude. And that's when play was called by the umpiring crew of Mark Clark behind home plate, crew chief Phil McGee at first base, and Bobby Mark at third base. And now the Berries are starting to take the secure things off of the tarp that's holding it down, and then they'll get the tarp off, and we'll get playing again. Again, the line score as we have it through 7 innings and a batter for the Berries, 11 runs on 11 hits. They've committed no errors. They've left 7 runners on base. For Weyburn, 5 runs on 9 hits. They've committed 3 errors, and they've left 6 runners on base. Elsewhere in the Western Canadian Baseball League tonight, everybody in the pool tonight, everybody in action. In the bottom of the 7th inning, Lethbridge and Fort McMurray are tied 1-1. In the bottom of the 6th in Regina, the Red Sox lead Medicine Hat 8-1. Top of the 6th inning in Brooks, Sylvan Lake has a 7-0 lead on the Bombers. In the bottom of the 5th, Swift Current leads Moose Jaw 7-6. And Energy City and Okotoks are delayed by rain as well. And the last we had there in the bottom of the 6th inning, Energy City was up on the Okotoks Dogs 1-0. So the tarp's coming off. We will have baseball going again here in a few moments' time. These same 2 teams will play again tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, I should say. Father's Day tomorrow. 1 o'clock will be game time. We'll be on the webcast here with FloCollege at that time at 1 o'clock. Also on the go tonight, a couple of games of significance for sports fans. Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final, won by the road team. The road team has now won 3 of the 5 games in the series. And as a result, the Florida Panthers have a 3-2 lead in the set after a 5-2 victory tonight in Edmonton over the Oilers. So Game 6 back in Sunrise, Florida. And the Panthers with the first chance to win a second straight Stanley Cup championship. In the CFL today, the Saskatchewan Roughriders improved to 2-0. They get a late touchdown to beat Hamilton 28-23 in Steeltown. This afternoon, Calgary beat Toronto 29-19. Stampeders over the Argonauts. 2-0 Stamps, 0-2 Argos. And the U.S. Open, Sam Burns has the lead in a tournament in which I believe there's only 3 players out of the field that are under par heading to the final round tomorrow. Oakmont Country Club, just outside of Pittsburgh, is playing tough, as a lot of folks expected. So the tarp is off of the infield entirely. Now it's just a matter of folding it up and getting it rolled up and put away down the right field line, and it'll be able to go. And got the rakes out and raking the home plate area. May have to do something with regards to the batter's box. But we'll be playing baseball here in a few minutes' time. And actually, they don't have a lot of time to get the rest of the game in, as there is a second cell coming through. It's 8:57 right now. That second cell, according to AccuWeather, should be coming through here at about 10 to 10. So they're going to have, by the time they start playing, until that second cell shows up, about 45 minutes with which to get the final 2 innings done. And assuming the Berries can hang on to this 6-run lead, you hope they don't have to go to the bottom of the 9th in order to finish it off. But the Beavers have proven to be a little on the scrappy side. They've scored runs in each of the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. As we're in the top of the 8th, Weyburn actually opened the scoring in the top of the 1st. The Berries scored runs in 4 straight innings. Singles in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and then broke it open with a 4 spot in the bottom of the 4th to go up 7-1. Weyburn started the battle back, a run in the 6th and 2 in the 7th to make it 7-4. The Berries scored 4 in the bottom of the 7th to make it 11-4. And like I said, the leadoff home run by catcher Braden Mayencourt of the Weyburn Beavers to make it 11-5 Berries. And that's where we're at, heading into as we're in the top of the 8th inning with nobody out and the 1 run in on the home run. Pitchers of record so far: Dylan Parton pitched the first 4 innings for Weyburn, allowed 9 hits, 7 runs, only 3 of them earned, struck out 1, walked 1. Jackson Henderson pitched a couple of innings after that. Josiah Mendoza pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up the 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th, and then it was Isaiah Granado coming on to get the final out of the bottom of the 7th. For the Berries, Matt Whitney pitched 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, struck out 6, walked 1. Travis Phelps gave up a couple of runs in the 7th, and now Dallin Rude came on in the top of the 8th and gave up the home run to Mayencourt. And with a bit of a delay, all that warm-up by Rude, I would have to wonder if he will actually be out to continue here in the top of the 8th inning after warming up and getting a couple of pitches in the game and then not being able to continue because of the rain. But the Berries team is out there trying to flatten out the tarp before they roll it up and get it to the right field line where it sits. And the Weyburn players are starting to come out of their locker room area here at Next Gen Park at Cairns Field and getting to their dugout, waiting for the game to be resumed. The umpires are still in their dressing room area here, waiting on them. Once they come out and say, let's go, we'll be ready to go, but we're not that far away from that happening. Quick look at the league standings, with no games yet done here tonight in the Western Canadian Baseball League in the East Division. Saskatoon Berries with the lead at 11-2, a game up on the Medicine Hat Mavericks, who are 11-4. Regina third at 7-5. Moose Jaw fourth at 6 wins, 7 losses. Weyburn fifth at 4-8. Swift Current sixth and last in the East at 2-11. In the West Division, Lethbridge Bulls got off to a horrible start this year, lost their first 4 games, and now they're in first place at 8-5. Half game ahead of Okotoks at 8-6, the defending champion Dogs. Sylvan Lake is 7-6 in third place. Only 1 game separates the top 3 teams. The Energy City Cactus Rats are in fourth at 5-7. Then the Brooks Bombers at 4-7 in fifth place, and the Fort McMurray Giants last at 4-9. Mentioned tomorrow afternoon, Father's Day, a 1 o'clock game again. These same 2 teams, the Berries and the Weyburn Beavers. Berries have Monday off, and then they'll take on the Sylvan Lake Gulls on Tuesday and Wednesday here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, a couple of 7 o'clock games. Well, they pretty much have that tarp wrapped up. Now it's just a matter of getting it away from the playing area. It's in the foul territory, but now it has to be rolled over towards that right field, towards the boundary fence. And now what they want to do is they want to push it rather than roll it. Well, now they're rolling it. One thing you don't want to have it do is come unraveled off of that roll. So everybody on there trying to push, pull, and drag it into its proper spot so that the game can get back underway. 11-5. We're still in a weather delay here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, waiting for the game to resume in the top of the 8th inning. Saskatoon 11, Weyburn 5. And we'll wait on the arrival of the umpires as the tarp has been put in its proper place. And now everybody has to get their socks and shoes back on and get back to getting ready to finish off this game. Again, we got about a 45 minute window with which to get it done before the next cell makes its way into here. The weather office over at the Saskatoon Airport, which is a few kilometers north of here, was saying thunderstorm with hail about half an hour ago at the airport. There was tornado warnings out for the Rostern area about half hour, 45 minutes to the northeast of here on the highway to Prince Albert. Don't know if anything touched down, but certainly there would be a concern with that type of warning. And now the last that we see here on the weather, it's 15 degrees. Still at the airport, they're saying thunderstorm with light rain showers, but we're clearing off here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Wind out of the north at 8 kilometers per hour, so that no longer a factor. And out comes head coach Joe Carnahan of the Berries to help with raking up the home plate area so that we're ready to continue this ball game. The lines around home plate, the batter's box lines and everything are pretty much obliterated. Home plate is under a whole bunch of dirt that's been raked over top of it. So right about now we need the umpires to come out and see if we can get this going. We're looking for some of the staff members to come out and help out from here at the Gordie Howe Sports Complex. A lot of them may have taken off for home. I figured their day was done. They got the diamond ready, and the thunderstorm hit, and it's like, okay, we're good to go, but maybe not right about now. But in the meantime, there are Berries personnel out on the diamond trying to rake things up, trying to get it as ready as they can to play a resume play in the top of the 8th inning. The weather delay continues. We are 34 minutes into it here. Make that 44 minutes into it. We stopped play at 8:22. And hopefully we will get going again here in the next few minutes. Still cloudy for the most part in the area. There's some blue sky breaks up there. But the Barrie players are starting to re-warm up and get going. The Weyburn players doing the same, playing a little pepper around the dugout area. Lightning strikes up to the north of us, but that's long and gone. That's not coming this way. Head coach Cam Williams is in the middle of the Pepper game, right in front of the Weyburn third base dugout. A couple other tarps have to be taken off. They had them on the bullpen mound out down both field lines. The one down the right field line with the Berries has been looked after, and now the one down the left field line is being rolled up and going to be put away shortly. That's where Berries head coach Joe Carnahan is with a rake, raking up the bullpen mound for the Weyburn Beavers. So grounds crew, sometimes you got to be your own grounds crew when you're the team in the Western Canadian Baseball League. And I'm always impressed. Actually, I was very impressed when I first started to do these games last year. And apparently this is something that happens in college baseball everywhere. The players, after the game, into the stands cleaning up after the patrons who are there. Whatever garbage is left over, and sometimes it's pretty significant, but decent-sized crowd. Garbage has to be cleaned up. There's the players out there. Garbage bags in hand. Some of them with leaf blowers, blowing the garbage around, getting it into spots where it's easily picked up in those garbage cans. Players are the ones doing it. Part and parcel of the college baseball experience, they say. And good for them. As now we have out a little tractor on the field with one of the Gordie Howe Sports Center staff. Going to bring the rake around and rake the infield dirt. Make it as nice and manicured and even as possible before putting second base back in. And again, we're just a few minutes away from resuming play here in this Western Canadian Baseball League game between the Saskatoon Berries and the Weyburn Beavers. Berries are up 11-5 in the top of the 8th inning. Thing is, the umpires decide to call it. There's enough played for this game to be over and the Berries would win. The only problem is, though, that they've started the top of the 8th inning. If they'd have stopped it after the end of the 7th, they could have called the game and that would have been it. But because they started the top of the 8th and Weyburn scored a run, well, you're pretty much obligated to try and at least finish the 8th inning before any other weather, inclement weather, comes along. So the wait continues, the warm-up continues, the weather delay continues here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field in Saskatoon. 11-5. Berries with the lead. 3 RBI for Ethan Murdoch so far in the game. In fact, let's find myself a little better score here. Actually, I can't do it there. Where is it? Nope, got no box score that I can go with. So go off of my scorecard. Berries have actually scored 6 unearned runs in this game. All 4 of them in the 4th inning were unearned. And then 2 more were unearned in the bottom of the 7th inning. Looks like a tornado close to touching down around Hepburn, Saskatchewan, just before 4 o'clock this afternoon, according to some folks on Facebook showing pictures. Hopefully everybody's okay. As I said, off the top of the 1st inning, Weyburn opened the scoring, a couple of doubles in the inning. Noah Brooks brought home by Ian Heck. Berries tied it up in the bottom of the 1st. Ethan Menard doubled and came around eventually on a sacrifice fly by Ethan Murdoch. Berries in the 2nd inning went up 2-1. Nathan Houston singled, got around to 3rd on a Corey Waters singled, and scored on a Cooper Westland sacrifice fly. 3rd inning, Ethan Menard singled, stole 2nd, and scored on Mason Rell's base hit to make it 3-1. And then in the fourth inning, Corey Waters singled, advanced to third on Nomar Prieto's reaching second base on a two-base error, throwing error by the third baseman. That came with 2 away, and then Ethan Menard, 2-run double. Carter Beck walked, and Ethan Murdoch drove in Menard and Beck with a 2-run single to make it 7-1. In the top of the 6th, Noah Brooks hit a leadoff home run to make it 7-2. In the 7th, a couple of more runs for Weyburn. A walk to Chet McDaniel, a fielder's choice by Luke Malzewski. Then back-to-back singles by Noah Brooks and Trevor Dale brought home 2 more runs to make it 7-4. Bottom of the 7th, the Berries got their first 2 men out, a fly out and a strikeout. Then Nathan Houston was hit by a pitch. Corey Waters walked. Cooper Westland was hit by a pitch. Nomar Prieto blooped a double into right field. 2 runs scored. And then Ethan Menard's ground ball to third base was thrown away by the third baseman. Allowed 2 runs to score. And that made it 11-4. And then, as I mentioned, the top of the 8th inning, leadoff man Braden Mayencourt, the catcher for Weyburn, hit a solo home run to right field to make it 11-5, and that's where we're at as they continue to manicure the field and get it ready to resume play, while another storm cell starts advancing on Saskatoon to the southwest of us, and it is moving in a northeasterly direction. We'll zoom up on it. It's 9:14. We see on the radar the first one goes on by. And from the looks of it, it's going to hit here at about 9:50. Umpires are out. And we should be starting any time now. Ethan Menard's got the gear on, and he's heading behind home plate. He's ready to go. They're just putting some dirt down to cover some wet areas, some standing water areas in the infield on the left side, and once they get that done, yeah, it'll be time to get going. Zach Tanabe will be the batter for the Weyburn Beavers when play ball is called out, and we're ready to go again. Just a couple of minutes away from getting started again here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Finishing touches with the rake from head coach Joe Carnahan. Just umpires watching. Still have the little tractor out there. They're going to drop the, they're going to drop the little bit of fencing that serves to help manicure one more time, and a quick drive around on the, between third and second base, the deep part of the infield, in order to make it as good as they can so that the umpires are satisfied and we can get going. The delay continues. It'll be almost an hour of a delay in between pitches here in this ball game. Menard says, "Let's go." He's ready. he's got the catcher's gear on. He's ready behind home plate. He's the only one. Nobody else from the Berries who's supposed to be in the field is ready to go in the field. The umpires are stomping around and talking to people. They're the ones that have the ultimate say. They'll tell us when they're ready to go again, when play resumes. Mark Clark, the home plate umpire, moving over towards the third base side, staring at the sky and off to the southwest. I'm sure he can see as far as he can see. It's probably starting to look ominous again. So again, they need to get this game going again. Otherwise, it's going to be more inclement weather coming. It won't take long for that to pass as well, but by then, you almost want to say, okay, let's call it a night. As if there's any kind of moisture again coming down in the form of rain, it's going to take, again, about an hour or so to get all fixed up. So we've got action down the left field line in the Weyburn bullpen. Keaton Husband, who's from Weyburn, coming off his freshman year at Minnesota West Community College, is warming up. But the Berries players now are ready to go out in the field. It's just a matter of finishing off raking and manicuring and get second base back in, and away we go. Delay, delay, delay. So let's see if we're going to get this going here right away. Well, more dirt being poured on a spot in behind between first and second base, just off the outfield grass. If there's a standing water spot, it has to be looked after. Can't leave standing water out there. Joe Carnahan's got the breakout, finishing that area up. Bring the tractor around. Take another sweep of that area. Oh, maybe one more. All right. Let's get it going, boys. I think you've done as much as you can do. The umpires are still talking with Cam Williams, the head coach of the Weyburn Beavers, out just off third base. So we're not quite ready to go yet. Like I said, the longer they keep on with this, the more likely we may end up with another rain delay or possible end of night because of more rain coming. It's not far away. (11-5), Saskatoon with the lead on the Weyburn Beavers in the top of the 8th inning, waiting for play to resume. Oh, now Joe Carnahan calls the group together down the right field line. And I think we're just about ready to get started. Second base is about to go back into its proper spot. Just got to get that John Deere tractor off of there, and we're ready to go. Umpires are getting into position. And we are officially an hour into the weather delay, but here come the Berries out onto the field. Everybody heading into position. And Dallin Rude is back out. He'll take a few warm-up tosses, and we'll get underway. That home run Rude allowed to Braden Mayencourt was the first run he's allowed this season. Dallin Rude from Munster, Saskatchewan, coming off his freshman year at Colby Community College. So we're just about done. If the tractor gets done, we will be ready to go again. Looks like he's finished. Ready to pick it up off of the ground, and Rude is warming up. Zach Tanabe, Brigham Kokotayo, and Chet McDaniel due up here in the top of the 8th inning with one run already in. 11-5, Berries with the lead. Still some more little bit of raking to do around the home plate skin area. That's under the watchful eye of the home plate umpire, Mark Clark. He wants it done. But everybody from the Berries is in the field ready to go. All right. Joe says that's as good as it's going to get. And we are going to be ready to go as the ball's thrown down to second base. Mark Clark will call play ball, and here comes Zach Tanabe, the shortstop, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Couple of fly ball outs and a strikeout. Dallin Rude. Dallin Rude on to pitch. Second hitter upcoming for him. First pitch in there for a strike. As we're back underway at 9:25, a 63-minute rain delay. Down and away, ball 1-1-1. Short window to try and get this ball game done. That ball gets all the way back to the backstop. 2 balls, 1 strike. Menard back into position after retrieving the ball off the backstop. Rude looking in. Tanabe waiting. 2-1 pitch is down low. 3-1. And again, 3-1 pitch. Fouled off at the plate. Full count, 3-2. Zach Laird had been warming up earlier. There's nobody down in the bullpen right now. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dallin Rude strikes out Zach Tanabe for the first out in the top of the 8th inning. He'll bring up the right fielder, Brigham Kokotayo. Couple of strikeouts, was hit by a pitch his last time up. Hit by Travis Phelps. One away here in the top of the 8th. Rude's first pitch swung on and missed by Kokotayo, strike 1. Brigham Kokotayo. Pitch outside, 1-1. Kokotayo, again, coming off his freshman year at Cochise College. Langley, BC hitter, fouls one back to the screen, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Down low and away on the curveball, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's 2 away now. And Chet McDaniel, the center fielder, is coming up. You're good. First pitch on the outside corner to Chet McDaniel for a strike. McDaniel has struck out and walked twice. Scored a run in the 7th inning as he looks at a pitch down low, 1-1. He's also stolen a base tonight. 1-1 pitch is hit up the right field side into right field for a base hit. Inning continues as Weyburn has their 10th hit of the ball game, and now it'll be the second baseman, Alex Alva, coming up for the first time tonight. Alva took over after Luke Malzewski left the game when he collided with the right fielder, Brigham Kokotayo, on a bloop double by Nomar Prieto in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Alva gets his first chance at the plate tonight. Takes a strike on the outside corner. One strike pitch hit in the air to right field. That one's hooking towards the ground and will get all the way to the fence. Ethan Murdoch chases it down. Runner on second will stop up at third base. That being Chet McDaniel. And a double for Alex Alva. Second and third with 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning. And back to the top of the order for Ryan Daphne. 2 away, 2 on, 11-5 Berries in the top of the 8th inning. Rude out of the stretch. First pitch in for a strike to Daphne. Ryan Daphne is 1 for 4, singled in the 3rd inning. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Couple of ground outs and a fly ball out for Ryan Daphne in this game. Daphne from Surrey, BC. 2-strike pitch on the ground, handled by Nomar Prieto. The throw to first in time, and that ends the inning. 1 run for Weyburn. That happened before the weather delay. On 3 hits, no Berries errors, and 2 runners left on base. After 7.5 here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, it is the Saskatoon Berries 11 and the Weyburn Beavers 5. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Yeah, well, we're still doing the game though, so. Bottom of the 8th inning coming up here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 11-5, the Saskatoon Berries leading the Weyburn Beavers. New pitcher for the Beavers, Their fifth chucker of the night is going to be Keaton Husband, who wears number 1 for them. He'll be making his 5th appearance, all out of the bullpen. No record. 5 1/3 innings pitched. 11 hits, 11 runs all earned. Struck out 5, walked 6 in 5 1/3 innings. His earned run average 18.56. Keaton Husband to face the middle third of the Berries order. It'll be Mason Rell, Jalen Freeman, and Nathan Houston. Wonder if the Berries will be in the mode of swinging it the first pitch. Trying to make this a quick half inning, get on the field, finish the game off. Well, Rell looks at the first pitch down low, ball 1. Mason Rell is 1 for 4 tonight, singled, drove in a run in the 3rd inning, stole a base. West Bend, Wisconsin product. Pounds a ball into the dirt towards third, picked up there by the third baseman, and a throw just nips Rell in time. Good strong throw by the third baseman, Trevor Dale, for the first out. It'll bring up Jalen Freeman, who's 0 for 4 tonight. A couple of ground outs, a fly out, and a strikeout his last time up. First pitch inside, ball 1. One-0 pitch coming from Husband. On the ground, up the middle, that'll get through into the outfield for a base hit. Jalen Freeman is 1 for 5 on the night, and now he'll go on into second base. He didn't stop running. He took the bag at first and kept on going, and while they struggled to get there to the ball, he was able to take second, and turns out to be a double. So now Nathan Houston coming to the plate. Houston's 3 for 3, hit by a pitch as well. A couple of runs scored for the Melville, Saskatchewan product. Freeman on second. 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Keaton Husband. Pitch is down low, ball 1. 12 hits for the Berries in the ball game. Again, 6 of their 11 runs tonight are unearned. Husband with a check on Freeman at second. Down low, it'll get away from the catcher, Mayencourt, and Freeman will advance to third base on a wild pitch. 2-0 the count. Corey Waters on deck. 2-0 pitch coming to Houston. Hit on the ground, one hop right at the shortstop. He looked back Freeman and throws out Houston. Good job there by the shortstop, Zach Tanabe. And there's 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And up comes Corey Waters now. Waters 2 for 3, a couple of singles, also a walk, scored twice. Saskatoon product having a good offensive year. Swings and misses at the first pitch. Blocked by the catcher, Mayencourt. Skipped away from him, stayed on the home plate dirt though, not far away, so Freeman could not advance, and it's strike 1. Keaton Husband ready to deliver again. And in for strike 2. So he quickly gets ahead of Corey Waters by 2 strikes. Fouled off, and this one will be out of play into the general admission standing area down the first base side. 2 strikes the count on Corey Waters here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Hit back up the middle, base hit. That'll score a run. It'll be 12-5 now for the Berries. An RBI single for Corey Waters. It'll bring up the designated hitter, Cooper Westland. Westland 0 for 2, a sacrifice fly, an RBI, and a hit batsman. And he scored on that at-bat back in the 7th inning. Designated hitter from Lincoln, Nebraska. Waters at first. Husband delivers off the glove. And a little short pass ball allows Waters to get to second base. That one's a tough one. Do you call that a pass ball off the glove, or do you call it a wild pitch? I'm going to say wild pitch because it was up and in. And the catcher, Mayencourt, had to come up out of his crouch in order to try and get it, and got a glove on it, but that's it. 1-0 pitch to Westland. Down low, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes on Cooper Westland. A run in for the Berries here in the bottom of the 8th. Westland fouls it off up over the first base bleachers. The announced attendance tonight is 1,802. I would say about 1,000 of them have departed, maybe more, maybe closer to 1,500 have departed. There's not all that many people left. Those that have, good on you. Bounced in, 3-1. Nomar Prieto, the second baseman, is on deck. I would expect Dallin Rood will come back out for the top of the 9th inning to pitch for the Berries. Try and finish it off. Called strike to Westland. And we have a full count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Corey Waters on second. 2 away. Cooper Westland at the plate. Keaton Husband about to deliver the payoff pitch. Curveball called strike 3, and that's the end of the inning. Berries get a run on 2 hits. No errors for Weyburn in the bottom of the 8th inning, and 1 runner left on base. We have played 8. It is Saskatoon 12, Weyburn 5. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Well, it's tough from this angle. No 2 ways about that. That's fine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So 3 outs left to go for the Saskatoon Berries to get before they can pick up their 5th straight win. They have a 12-5 lead over the Weyburn Beavers. Dallin Rood back out for a 2nd inning. And he'll face the 2-3-4 hitters in the Weyburn Beavers lineup. Noah Brooks, the left fielder, who's had a good night at the plate for them. Trevor Dale, the 3rd baseman. And the DH, Ian Heck. Noah Brooks first up against Dallin Rood here in the top of the 9th inning. Brooks is 3 for 4. Solo home run in the 6th inning. A double, and he scored in the 1st. He takes a strike from Dallin Rood. And he singled and drove in 2 runs in the 7th inning. That one's inside, ball 1, 1-1. Chop foul towards the third base Weyburn dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brooks was hitting .348 coming into the night. He'll be closing in on .400. That one is down low. Ball 2, 2-2. Rude right back at it. Hit towards third. Picked on the backhand by Rell. Long throw. And Waters kept his foot on the bag and gets the out. That throw was up the first base line. And Waters stepped into foul territory and backhanded the ball with the catch and kept his foot on the bag for the out. So 1 away here in the top of the 9th. And it'll bring up the third baseman, Trevor Dale. Dale 1 for 4 tonight. Singled his last time up in the 7th. Takes a ball. Ball 1. A strike thrown by Rude. It's 1-1. It has cooled off significantly here. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It says 15 degrees Celsius. Feels colder than that. Down low, 2-2. Dallin Rude out of the full wind-up here in the top of the 9th with 1 away. A 2-2 pitch upcoming to the third baseman, Trevor Dale. Strike 3 called. Third strikeout of the appearance for Dallin Rude, 2 away. And now the cleanup hitter for Weyburn, the designated hitter Ian Heck, who's 2 for 4 tonight. A double and an RBI in the first inning, a single in the 6th. He's also struck out twice. First pitch all the way to the backstop, ball 1. One and 0 the count on Ian Heck. Fouled back off the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Umpire Mark Clark wants the ball that was hit off the screen, not taken out of play. He'll hang on to it. Rude with a different baseball, ready to go on the mound. 1-1 pitch. Hit on the ground. That'll get through between short and third and a base hit. And Weyburn's night is still going as Braden Mayencourt will come to the plate. Twelfth hit of the night for the Weyburn Beavers. Difference is they've made 3 errors, which have contributed to 6 unearned runs for Saskatoon. Berries have not made an error tonight. And Braden Mayencourt, who greeted Rude his appearance with a solo home run to right field, leading off the top of the 8th inning, is back up again here in the top of the 9th. 2 outs, a runner on first. And Rude, with 1 out needed to finish this off. On the ground, Waters stabs it off the 1 hop. He'll touch the bag, and that's the ball game. Took a little bit of time to play this one tonight. A 63-minute rain delay. Another 21 minutes of ball played after that. And in the end, it's the Saskatoon Berries defeating the Weyburn Beavers 12-5. We'll come back with the final totals and the wrap-up of this one as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. So we're back to wrap things up here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Saskatoon Berries win their 5th straight game and continue to improve on their league leading record at 12 wins and 2 losses for the season now. Let's give you the final line score for the Saskatoon Berries. They scored 12 runs on 13 hits. They didn't commit an error. They left 8 runners on base. For the Weyburn Beavers, 5 runs on 12 hits. They committed 3 errors. They left 9 runners on base. The winning pitcher is Matt Whitney. He's 3-0 on the season. Pitched a solid 6 innings of a start. Taking the loss is Dylan Parton. His record 1-1. There was 1,802 fans in attendance. Certainly not that many at the end after there was a 63-minute rain delay. Total actual game time, 2 hours and 41 minutes. It took 3 hours and 44 minutes to get the whole thing done, but you take away the 63-minute rain delay, and it ends up being 2 hours and 41 minutes of actual playing time in tonight's game. Good night for the Saskatoon Berries offensively. Certainly for Ethan Murdoch, 3 RBIs. He only had the 1 hit, but he had a sacrifice fly in the first inning and a 2-run single in the 4th. The Berries with a run in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, a 4-run score in the 4th inning, another 4 runs in the 7th, and 1 more in the 8th to wrap it up, on their way to a 12-5 victory. So for the Berries, as I mentioned, 12 wins, 2 losses, their record on the season. They're a perfect 7-0 here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. They've won 5 in a row, and they've evened up their season series with the Weyburn Beavers at a win apiece. Weyburn drops to 4-9. They've lost 2 in a row. They're 1-4 on the road. Same 2 teams play tomorrow afternoon, Father's Day afternoon, 1 o'clock. We're with you here on FloCollege at 1 o'clock for that particular ball game, the Saskatoon Berries and the Weyburn Beavers. So on behalf of all the folks at Flo Sports, FloCollege, and everybody involved with the Saskatoon Berries, I'm Les Lazaruk. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow afternoon, and happy Father's Day.